Ugh.
All right, Mulligans and Hackers Golf, Season 3, podcast episode number 2. Take 2.
2.
So, for those of you that didn't check our socials, we did record this podcast about a week ago. However, we ran into some technical difficulties where we may or may not have only had sound for half of the podcast. Right, Alvin?
Amateurs.
Yeah, amateurs. What can you say?
We're new at this.
All right.
So
well,
that was me. I did. Yeah.
Oh well. We're learning out new things. Gives us a chance to be a little bit more organized here and have a couple more events to talk about.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, no doubt.
So last time we talked to you guys, we teed up our new season, Season 3, and we talked about what we were expecting, how we'd set the season up, where our golf games were at that time going into the year.
And I think we had the first two rounds in by the time we did the first podcast.
I don't believe we did.
No? Are you sure?
Yeah, because it was a season preview.
Was it a season preview?
It was.
Let's see.
So that means that after today, because today we played our 5th event, we have 5 events we need to talk about for this season.
So yeah, we should talk about the events first.
Yeah,
and then we talk about where our golf games go.
Yeah, for sure. So let's dig into the events. So season 3, event number 1, we started down at Cottonwood. We had
six guys.
6 guys come out because my cousin Jake came down with my brother Josh, and they came out with me, you, Dave, and Clark.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. There were 6.
So if I remember correctly, day 1 was a little cold.
It was cold. Conditions weren't great. It was really chilly.
Yeah. It was a typical May round, let's say, for here. It wasn't beautiful by any means.
Sprinkling a little rain.
Kind of similar to today's round, maybe.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So, so the 6 of us split into groups of 3. We went out for our round. I played with Jake and Josh, and you played with Dave and Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And how'd it go?
Well, Clark finished first. So, opening event.
Defending champion.
Defending champ, poor conditions. He won with an 85 plus 19.
Yeah, pretty solid.
For the day, for the conditions.
All things considered, and the time of the year.
Yeah. And really early in the golf season. So Clark comes up with a W on opening day. You finished second with a plus 20.
Yep.
Tied with Dave.
Right.
He also had a plus 20.
Yes.
And that was his first day out.
Yeah.
We had already had a few rounds in by then.
Well, as we know with Big Dave, he can strike. He can strike.
Again, we were talking about that today. He had a win in season number 1 and a win in season number 2.
It's true.
So
he's kind of like a cobra. He can strike at any time.
So then I finished in 4th with a plus 21. Again, only two strokes behind you.
Yep.
Jacob then came in with a plus 23, so he was in it. He was in.
That was the first event that he's played in that he had a legit chance to win.
Yeah. And good old Josh, he finished with a 112 plus 46.
Yeah.
So that finished our opening day. Clark gets the W.
Yeah.
So he gets 1,000 points. So that's how the standings are.
Yeah, he jumps out to an early lead in the chase for the cup.
Yep.
So then, as is customary on our opening weekends, we had our second event on the following day. Yeah. Typically, we only have one weekend usually, except for our opening weekend and our majors and championship.
So day number 2. We got a playoff. You and Clark.
Yeah, and day number 2's conditions were very different. Like, it was a beautiful day out there that day. It was like someone flipped the light switch on and just became beautiful outside. So
we had 8 guys on day number 2.
That's right.
So because Kevin and his son Marcus joined us. So we had the playoff, and you ultimately won in the playoff on hole number 9, correct?
Yes, we went to play hole number 9. Our group, if I remember correctly, me, you, Josh, and Jake all played in a group. We finished first. It sounded like Clark was having quite a day, so we had already put our stuff away, thinking that he had already won. And then once I get the scorecard, I was like, well, I guess we got to go back to the carts. So went and picked up my stuff. We drove out to 9. Clark went first. He chunked his tee shot about halfway up on the par 3, which is, it happens sometimes on that hole because it's such a pain in the butt. And then I got up. I hit mine onto the green in good shape. If I remember right, Clark said, well, you've already won now. And I was like, well, you never know, man. So he gets up there, he hits a beautiful chip, puts it on, gives him a look at par. So I have a birdie putt. I missed the birdie putt by, I think, a couple inches. Clark concedes that putt for me, gives me my par. And he has his chance at par. He ran it right by the hole, did not miss by much. He gave it every chance to go in the hole. He wasn't going to leave it short. And ultimately, that gave me my first win of the year. And gave Clark a loss and put us at a tie after 2 events.
Yep. So
put me 50 points behind him after 2 events because I tied on the first together.
You guys finished plus 14, so 5 strokes better than Clark's win opening.
Correct. An 80, and I mean anything around an 80 or below is quite good, right?
Yep. So then Dave came in third again.
Yep.
So two straight third place finishes for that guy in his first 2 rounds of the year. Good for him. He finished at plus 16 as well, which wasn't bad.
Yes, 82. That's a solid round.
I came in fourth again, plus 23. Kevin came in with a plus 30. Jacob came in with a plus 32. Wasn't quite as close as he was on day 1. Josh finished with a plus 40, and Marcus finished with a plus 40.
Yep.
So after opening weekend, Clark led in the chase for the cup.
Yep.
With 1,900 points. You were 50 points behind him, 1,850.
Yep.
Dave, 1,650, solidly in third, and I was 1,400 in fourth place.
Correct.
Jacob was at 1,100 points. Josh was at 850. Kevin was at 600. Marcus at 350.
Yep.
So that's after opening weekend. First 2 dates in the books.
Yep, you betcha. So then we got back at it. I think the following weekend was a long weekend, so we took a break.
So then the weekend after that, it was just the core 4.
Yeah,
so
the core
4, you, me, Clark, and Dave.
Yeah, you, me, Clark, and Dave. We went out for event number 3.
Yep, and so Clark gets his second win.
Yes.
So he finishes with plus 11 and 77.
Yeah, really good round.
That's a good round. We're starting to get in the 70s here.
Yep.
We're starting to get in the 70s consistently now. So we'll talk about that later. So he's 77 plus 11. I finished second with a plus 13 at 79. I broke 80. And I think that was my first time breaking 80 this year.
Yeah.
You finished third with an 89 plus 23. You kind of...
I didn't have a good day. I was never really in it that day.
Yeah. And Dave finished with a plus 29, 95. So there we go. 4-4. So now the standings look like Clark has 2 W's after 3 events. So he's at 2,900 points. You still sit in second with 2,650. Dave's still in third with 2,350. And I'm in fourth with 2,300.
Yep.
So there we are.
And that was after 3. Yes. So round 4 was our first event of our
tour.
Of our in-town mini tour. They used to be our out-of-town events. So this year
we're doing a Medicine Hat tour.
This year it's the Medicine Hat tour. So it's still for the Purple Sombrero, the first event in the race for the Purple Sombrero. Also worth double points. We played Medicine Hat Golf and Country Club. And
Dave, unfortunately,
he was a last minute scratch because he's having some back
issues. So he's missed a couple of events, which we wish you need.
Yeah, we hope you, and we wish you a speedy recovery, buddy.
We want you back out there because you're the life of the party. So we play Medicine Hat.
Yep.
Medicine Hat, traditionally a course that eats me up.
And it's long.
Yep. Last year, I think on some of the podcasts, we talked about breaking 100 for the Alvinator. Right, that's my goal, to break 100 there. The way my game is now, I wasn't really concerned about breaking 100. I thought I could do it and do it relatively easily.
Yep.
And I did. So after Medicine Hat, you picked up your second W.
Yes.
Which was huge for you because it's worked all over the points. Right? So you finished with a plus 20 at Medicine Hat.
Yes, and if I remember right, my only My only wayward shot of the day that I really had an issue with was on the last par 5. And I went right into the trees off the tee. And surprisingly, my driver was clutch all day. I didn't miss many shots with the driver. I was pretty accurate.
Again, for three of us there.
Yeah.
Off the tee box was not a huge issue for anyone.
No, we were never really in problem territory, right? And on that hole, I think we all kind of ended up in similar areas.
Yep.
And I took a 6-iron. My plan was just to run it up the fairway and just give myself a look on the third shot. Well, I hit a 6-iron and it cut just a little bit, hit a tree, came directly backwards, ended up in somebody's yard. Well, I ended up having to take a draw, and then I made my way up there, and I think I one-putted for a double bogey, which I absolutely had to have. I mean, a double's terrible, but I had to have the one-putt double bogey, which was huge, knowing that you were right there, right with me. And everybody, I think, was going into the final. Where were we at here going into? Oh, yeah. So going into 18, I was at plus 19. You were at plus 20. And Clark was at plus 20.
Yeah.
It was anybody's
right
tournament.
Stretch, and it was cool because we kind of knew where we were.
Yep.
Going into the last couple of holes.
Yep.
So you ultimately came out with a plus 20 victory. You shot a 92.
Yeah, but you made me have to make my bogey putt in order to win on 18.
Yeah.
And Clark,
but again, 92,
yeah.
First time out at Medicine Hat. Not
this
bad.
year, yeah.
So I came in second
Yes.
with a plus 21. And my only bad shot of the day on that entire course that I would have wanted back was the tee off on the par 3, where I kind of duffed it in front of in the shit in front of the tee box and had to take a draw.
Yes.
That's the only one I would have loved to have had back. But I shot a 93. For me, first time going out this year at Medicine Hat to shoot a 93 plus 21, I'll take that every day.
And quite honestly, like playing out there, our scores are worse than bogey golf, but I think if we played there, a couple more times, like as much as we played Cottonwood, we'd be mid high 80s.
Yep.
Like we'd be in that 14 to 18 plus range because
we know
greens,
even right off the top of my head, there's 3 or 4 strokes that I could have had back, like that tee shot.
Oh yeah.
Right? So that would have got you into the high 80s.
Yes, and I mean a lot of the strokes we lost were on the greens because they're not familiar with them.
Yeah.
The speed was a little different.
Chipping,
we're not familiar.
The short game definitely needed some work because of how fast it was and how different the approach
and we
was.
could see we thought we saw breaks that maybe necessarily weren't there. We didn't know where the subtle breaks are. So
and Clark came in third with a 96 plus 24.
Yes.
So after the first out of town event, which is the 4th event, you now take over the lead because it was double the points. So.
Yeah, and that was the first time since the first event of last year that Clark has not been in the top spot.
Yeah, first place, yeah. So he's got a little bit of work to do now. So you had after that you have 4,650 points. You take over top spot. Clark drops back 150 points behind you with 4,500. I jump ahead of Dave because Dave wasn't there, and again I was worth double the points, so I was at 4,100 points, and Dave sits at 2,350 after 3 events. So you took over top spot.
Yeah, and then that brings us to today's event, which it was a miserably wet day out there. It was raining off and on and sprinkling, and traditionally our rounds in this kind of weather are just survival mode.
Yeah. I don't play well in cold conditions. I don't play well in the rain at all. And I went into it with a different mindset this morning. Mental part of the game coming around. Just go and play. Just go and play.
Take what you're given, go and play.
And just go play. And I picked up my first win of the season and my first win since the championship, tour championship at the end of last year. Shooting a solid plus 975.
Yeah, which, given the conditions, scorching round.
Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild.
Like scorching round. And I mean...
No birdies on the day.
But 9 bogeys.
9 bogeys.
9 single bogeys.
Yeah.
That's it. 9 bogeys, 9 pars.
Yep. I think I finished the first 9 at...
plus 3.
Plus 3. So it's 3 over, and then went 6 over on the back.
Yep.
out of this world. Just making the short game was really there. Every time I missed a green, the chip got me within at least par territory.
Yep.
Again, I had a couple of edge burners. But yeah, I'll take that W +9 in the weather today.
Yep. You ended up beating me out by 1 stroke.
Yep. You came in second with 76, which again, in this conditions, fantastic round. So you were at +10.
I shot a 38 on the front, so I was 2 behind you going into the back. That quickly became 1 on 10, and then on 11 I had to take a drop, so I gave that back.
Yep.
So then it became 2 again. 12, I was on the fringe on the par 3, and I made a wicked putt to sink birdie.
You did
to tie you.
And I missed my par putt. That was one of the edge burners I had on that.
Yes, and you made you 3-putted.
Yeah,
I 3-putted for bogey.
3-putted for bogey. So you gave me 2 strokes back on me there. I think we were tied.
We were tied there. So we go to 13, which is about 175 yard par 3 for us.
Yep.
175 yard par 3 for us. And I took a 9-iron. I hit a solid shot, but I leaked a little right, and I ended up in the sand trap. And if you've ever played a cottonwood, sand traps on a good day are not sand traps. They were solid mud.
Yeah.
It took me 2 good swings to get out of there, and it wasn't anywhere near the hole. So then, I'm 3 to the fringe, 1 long fringe putt, and then I missed a 6-footer. So I had a tap in for 6. So I take a triple bogey, my only triple on the day. And you took a bogey.
So the 2 strokes you gave on me the whole before.
So now you're back, and now you're 2 strokes back up, right? So then the par 5, we both go out there, we both shoot a bogey. Number 15, it's a par 4. You shoot bogey, I shoot par. So I've got it down to 1 stroke. 16 is a par 3. Well, I pushed my tee shot wayward to the left, got a chip over the sand trap, and then 2 putt for a bogey. Meanwhile, you were a little bit short.
I was short on the
You made a nice chip again, and then 1 putted for par.
Yep.
So we're back to 2.
2, yeah.
So we go to 17. I duck hooked the shit out of my 5 hybrid and put it on number 5's fairway. And I'm 165 yards from the hole. So I grab and you laid yours straight up the fairway. I grab my 8-iron and I'm like, just get it up there close. Hit it beautifully on the green. Okay, so I 2-putt, par, you make bogey.
Yep,
on an edge burner again.
Well, but again, my approach shot was terrible.
Yeah.
And my chip shot to get it close, at least within bogey range, came through. So I made the bogey. So here we are going into 18. And
you have a 1-stroke lead going into 18. So I tee off first because I have honors. I hit my tee shot, hole high, 8 to 9 feet away from the hole on the left side. You get up, you hit your tee shot. It's coming down the left side of the green, and all of a sudden it takes a massive hop into Bogey Valley.
Into Bogey Valley, yeah. And I'm in Bogey Valley, and I kind of know where we are in the score, where the score is. I didn't focus on it, but I kind of knew where we were. So Bogey Valley is a tough valley to get out of on that part.
Yeah, because it's got thick clover, so it's not always easy to get the ball up and down from there.
And I made my chip, and I put my chip to within 1.5.
Yeah,
2 feet.
It was a makeable spot for you on that day. Easy one, right?
Yeah, it was a 1.5, 2 foot putt that I knew. No breaks, straight in. Didn't have to do a lot with it, so I knew the par putt was there.
Yep. So I step up to my birdie putt. The line was good. I think I ended up about 6 inches short, just because the greens were running a little bit slower. Tap in for par. You make your par to secure the win. And I gotta say, I think I played great today. You played absolutely lights out, and you earned that victory.
I did earn that.
So I mean, when you lose like that, I don't mind. Like if we're in the mid 80s and we both play like shit, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. One of us should have won.
We totally battled, and again, mid 70 wins.
The unbelievable rounds. That's the best round of the year on the tour. Like on a tour date, right? Like those are the 2 best scores on a tour date.
Yep. So So then after today, Chris is still in first place, 5,550 points with 2 W's in 5 events. Clark is in second, 5,300. So he's 250 points behind you.
Yeah, I did gain 100 on him today.
Yep, and I gained on both of you, but I'm at 5,100 points now. So only 200 points behind Clark and 450 behind me.
Yep. So
now because we have the core 4, the ability to move up and down the leaderboard, it's really tight. Because now it's just hundreds of points for up and down for where we are, right?
It becomes difficult, and those double point days become all that more important.
Yes, the majors and the out of town events are huge to win.
Like next weekend we have an event at Cottonwood. The following weekend we have another tour date, like in town tour date. We have to decide where we're playing. I'm thinking maybe Connaught.
Sure, because we have Connaught to play, Desert Bloom, and Red Cliff.
Correct. I think
we're going to play Red Cliff tomorrow.
Yes, we're going to go play Red Cliff tomorrow with my buddy Kurt and his buddy there, Tom. We played with them last weekend, and that they came down to Cottonwood, so they invited us out to Red Cliff to play.
So I thought 75 was my lowest round of the year.
Yep.
But so I shot 74 when we played with them.
That's right. Yeah, you were lights out that day. You shot 74, and I think that day I shot 78 or 79.
So,
again,
we're going to get into that here in a little bit now. So we're caught up on the tour.
Yep.
You're leading right now in chase for the cup.
Feels good to be back on top after
after
time away.
Because all of last season you were just trying to chase down, just trying to get to play after your injury. So
that's right.
But now we're games. So I'm about 25 rounds in this year.
Yeah, and I've played 24. So I'm one behind it.
I played most of my rounds I think Medicine Hat was the first round I played away from Cottonwood.
Okay.
But now I'm going back through my scorecard, and last half a dozen rounds have been 80 or below.
At least.
I shot 188. That was on the morning.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Sunday,
okay.
where I really wasn't there. And again, I struggled that morning. But then in the afternoon, we went back because we played 36 that day. So I had my worst round of the year in the morning, and then my best round of the year in the afternoon at that 74.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But then I'm looking at my scorecards of the other ones. So it's 74, 75, 78, 79, 280s, consistently in the 70s.
Yeah, you're crushing it, man. You are consistently in the 70s. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My last 9 rounds at Cottonwood have been 80 or better.
That's where our games are.
2 of them 80 on the button.
Yeah, I have
and the other 7 below 80, which is unbelievable.
So trying to go back here.
And I had two previous rounds in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 rounds earlier in the season. So if I look back at last season, because I can do this on the golf app. So if I look back at last year, do we know? Oh no, that's not this week. Okay.
So going back to like our first season and how we were, what our scores were when we were winning in season number 1. Let's see here. So season number 1, our first ever event.
Yep. Chris
won with a plus 12. So that's not bad. He shot a 78. So he broke 80. Day number 2, I shot a plus 12, 78. So if you were in the 70s, you were guaranteed pretty much to win.
Yeah, you basically got a guaranteed W last year, or the previous years in the 70s. Because that was year 1, right?
That was year 1. That was our first two events ever.
If you were in the 70s in year 1, you were guaranteed to win.
So then, plus 21, which was an 86. So I think most of our events, plus 81.
Plus 81?
81.
Plus 17.
Plus-
Or,
plus 15.
15.
That was me.
Yep.
So again, first year, maybe a little bit of the second year, you had to be low 80s to have a chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
This year, we're seeing, because we have the core four, now it's 80. Low 80s isn't going to guarantee you a look in. You have to be in the high 70s or mid 70s.
Like even today, like Clark didn't have a great day, but he still played bogey golf.
Yep.
And he was nowhere near it.
Not even in the same ball field. Like with us previously, we've had stay close because there's that hole where you can have a 3 or 4 shot swing.
Yep.
Somebody maxes on a par 3, like you get a 6. Somebody pars, that's 3 strokes. None of that happened today because I didn't have a double bogey today. So
no, the thing about our games is they're getting more consistent to the point now where we're very, like, especially out here on this course, we've played it enough times. We know exactly how to play every hole.
Avoid the danger.
We know exactly how to avoid the danger. We know what to do if we want to be aggressive. We know what to do if we don't want to be aggressive. We know where all the subtle breaks are. We know what a putt looks like. Even if it doesn't look like it's going to break this way, we know it's going to break this way. We have a very good understanding of how to play this course. And I was talking to someone yesterday about this, where, these guys come from different courses around town.
Well, again, we'll say the par 72 courses that come to this par 66 and I should be able to annihilate this.
Yes, and they struggle.
Because they play aggressive.
Yeah, and if you're aggressive and you're not accurate, you're going to lose a ton of balls and you're going to have a very high score.
Yeah, you're just going to be out of shape on every hole. I mean, just because it's a par 66, still play fairway to green. I mean, if you play fairway to green, you can get around that course pretty decently, like we're doing right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. As long as you give yourself a chance,
yeah.
Right? Like if you take yourself out of it and you're hitting 3 every time off the tee, or 150, 160 yards out because you hit a ball low B or
yeah.
whatever, it's it makes it tough to get away with that par or bogey.
I'm so happy where my game is right now. This was a good start to getting off Cottonwood to go play Medicine Hat.
Yep.
And shoot a 93, right? Wasn't really in danger of getting over 100. I'm going to Red Cliff tomorrow.
Yep.
So this is where, I'll speak for myself, this is where my game is. I want to take my Cottonwood game and take it to other par 72 courses because I'm playing really well there. I want to take it and I want to see how it plays on these other courses.
Yep. Yeah, I've played a few other big courses this year. Like I played Heritage Point in Calgary. I didn't play well that day. I had a touch of heat stroke. It just wasn't my day. I still broke 100 by 1, but it wasn't a great day. I played Serenity outside of Calgary a few weekends ago. Again, didn't play great. I think I shot a 91 or 92. Again, I know I can shoot better than that. Off the tee box, I was fine, but I found my approach shots that day were just not there. And for me, when I'm dialed in, it's if I'm hitting greens, because I typically I'll usually 2-putt. It's been a few days since I've had a 3-putt. I don't think I had a single one today.
That's part of the game that I really need to work on. I'm hitting greens. Well, I'm like 50% if I hit a green on 3-putt.
Yeah, well, and that's where you can eliminate strokes, right? For me, if I hit a green, it's like a 95% chance it's going to be a par at minimum.
Well, 2 putts.
Yeah.
If you hit a green,
and especially if you're like 20 feet or closer.
Yeah, it's 2 putts. I don't see you 3-putt often, anyways. But I'm still trying to find my putter. I really like the putter I have now, the Odyssey White Steel number 2.
Well, even today, you left yourself. Your chips were good, but you did leave yourself some testers out there. So some 8-9 footers on occasion, and you drained them.
Yep.
You stepped up with confidence, and you just put it in the hole, right? There were a couple knee knockers out there that you had to make.
Yep. For me, it's the the lag putting from 40, 45. Right. That's really where I'm not confident enough to get it tight.
Yep.
Right. And
Just gotta miss close. That's the
Miss
mentality
close,
you
yeah.
have to have, right? Like, it's,
And I'm
I'm
not
probably
doing-
not gonna. Chances are I'm probably not making this putt.
Yeah.
If I can just miss close and give myself a really good chance.
That's
right?
a work in progress, but man, it's so much fun to just go out and just like, we played yesterday and I lost the ball on number 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
It just went out and left. It wasn't a bad shot, but again, there's no bailout area left on that par 3.
No, that's right down by the
I was
creek.
right down the left-hand tree line, and just obviously you get a bad hop and goes there. It's the first ball I've lost. I played Medicine Hat
With the same ball.
with the same ball.
Yeah. Yeah, and up until I played Medicine Hat with the same ball up until hole 17,
Yep.
where I put that one in the person's backyard. Which for us, in the past, we lose 3, 4, 5 balls,
bet.
right?
You bet.
And so talking about our games, like I still had a penalty stroke today and shot a 76.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm still waiting for that round where I lay it down with absolutely no errors
Yeah.
and see what I do.
I didn't take a drop today.
No, and you're usually good about not taking drops.
So I did a tweak to the grip.
Yep.
I did a tweak to my grip. And it just so happens I saw a video of an overhead of Ben Hogan grip the club. And I just did that with my low hand to get it over the top. And I don't think I've sliced the ball since. Like, I may be lined up wrong and take the ball off to the left and take the ball. I haven't duck hooked anything, and I haven't shanked or sliced anything. Everything is in play.
Yep.
And that's starting to really propel my game forward as a hacker. I'm not hacking as much anymore.
No, the amount of poor shots that we make in a round are very few and far between from when we first started.
Yeah, so, and again, we're talking about where our games have come in. Like, this is our 3rd full season playing full-time hobby ball. I hit the green on number 6.
Yes, drive. That's a tough one to
That's
drive.
a tough one to drive. And we're starting a video during our practice runs. We're starting a video.
Let you guys see us try and
see
hit
how
it.
us trying to get to that. See us get to that green. We've got a couple of videos up on our socials of you've hit the green once this year.
Yep.
You had an eagle opportunity.
You did it first.
I did it first.
Yep.
But I 3-putted for par because again I hit a green and it's 3 putts. That's just so we both have the ability. You've always had the ability to get there. But
That's
now,
a tough hole though.
This is where my game has changed. I can go for that green
Every time.
every time now.
Yep.
So I hit my driver a lot better. I hit my driver a lot farther.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot more confidence in getting up to that hole and going for it.
Well, yeah, because I mean we're not scared about missing low on the low side.
Because we have the shots now.
Because for those of you guys that don't know, so it's got a fairway that runs up, and then the dog leg's right, and then the green slopes back towards the shed, and the whole hill goes straight down.
Everything except the fairway is bottom level, like where you tee up.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that rises is the fairway goes up
To the green.
To the green, and then you have the Quonset for the shack for the golf club, and the green is behind that. And on the tee box, there's a tree line that runs up the right that actually blocks out the green from actually like going at it.
Yeah, in theory, you
especially-
shouldn't be able to go directly at it. You generally have to go up and around and hook the ball.
You have to fade it in there, not slice it, because if you slice it, you're not getting it up there.
That's right.
You have to get it out far enough and let it fade to the runway into the green.
You basically have to hit it perfect, and I mean there is an element of luck to getting it up there
bet.
for sure.
Like you hit one up. You've hit a couple up there that the one that we thought was up there we couldn't find.
Yeah, I've lost 3 balls this year, and I think 16 rounds out there or something, that I hit really well. They landed on the upper tier, but they were nowhere to be found.
But because of where the tee box is, you
can't
can't really see how the ball finishes.
That's right.
So you could hit a railway tie at like going up the path. You could hit the path itself.
It's a huge risk reward.
It is a risk reward hole. But so like today, we both. I didn't really attack it.
Well, it's cold. It's tough to get
yeah,
up
it's
there
tough to
today.
get it up there today. So I was trying to put it out there to get it up to the runway, but I kind of hit it straight and I put it right up to the corner. So I was on the fairway, so I'll take that.
Yep. And I ended up on the side of the hill, not far away, and ended up I think 2 putting for par or
But
one putting.
I'm
for par.
going for it now.
Yes.
I've got a driver that I have confidence in, TaylorMade R9 driver.
Yep.
I put the other arrow burner in the bag. I like this driver a lot, and I mean I'm hitting fairways. I'm getting good distance out of it, and I can go for that green. So that's, and again, these little things that we recognize is where our game is just going forward.
Yep.
Right.
And it's awesome.
The driver when we went to Medicine Hat, sorry. I mean, I hit the first fairway, hit the second fairway, hit the third fairway, right? Yeah, I hit the first 3 fairways, right? I mean, for me, that's huge.
Well, and I was either on the fairway or just off. Typically, in the past when I've played there, I've had to play out of the trees a
I
little
hit
bit.
6 of the first 7 fairways at Medicine Hat.
Yeah, well, we call you fairway finder. That's not necessarily surprising.
I don't know. At Medicine Hat, it is because it gets in my head a little bit. On the back, not so much. 2 a set. So even that.
I'm interested to see how Clark responds with 2 consecutive third place finishes.
Yep.
It's been a long time since he's done that.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that I'm disappointed, but you know, he works just like us.
Yeah.
He works a lot on his game. Like he gets a lot of balls on the range. He works on his putting on the green.
And I mean,
but I don't. Today may have. Well, again, I say today may have not been a great round for him, but Medicine Hat really. He was there right until the end, but at the end he faded a little bit.
Well, he took a double, or he took a quad on 18.
Yeah.
He was leading us at the turn,
That's
and
true.
then he just kind of fell apart down the backstretch, right? So we've seen some cracks in the armor, and then like today, I mean, it wasn't a great round for him, but it's funny because our great rounds now, like if it's not a great round for us, it's right around bogey ball. Like that's a bad round for us now out of Cottonwood.
Well, yeah. I mean, the worst runs I've hit in the last little while, other than that 188 round, which again, those are going to be.
Yeah, you'll have once in a while,
sprinkled in.
right?
You know, 80s and below.
Yeah.
Right. So we've gone out for a couple casual runs
After work. Yeah.
after work and 78, 79.
Yeah. We're not even thinking about it. Like we get it up to the end, we're like, oh shit, nice, good round.
You make the turn at the first 9 and you're at 38.
Well, I mean, I went out there the other day. Was off work because I was dealing with some stuff, and I happened to go out with my mom's boyfriend, and we started on the back. I was plus 11 through 9, and I was just about ready to go home because it was not a good day. I'd lost I think I'd lost 3 balls already, 3 balls, taken 4 drops or something stupid. I was plus 11. So then I get on the front, and I go par, 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 birdie, birdie. And I'm sitting at 2 under through 6. And I'm like, okay. So then 7, I par. And I'm like, okay. 8, I get up there. I hit a beautiful tee shot up the fairway with a nice little draw with my 5 hybrid. Chunked my approach shot, as one does. And then I ended up bogeying. So I'm like, okay, I'm still 1 under going to 9. Okay. So then I chunked my tee shot. Chip up, make 2 putts for a bogey, finish the front, which we played at the back that day, at even par, and I finished my round at 77, a plus 11, after making the turn at plus 11. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny how our game just does that.
Yeah. And again, we're playing a lot of golf, and
I mean, we played 90 holes last weekend in 48 hours.
yeah, we played Friday after work.
Saturday morning, we went out to Medicine Hat.
That was our Medicine Hat round. Then we went back to Cottonwood Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, or Saturday evening. Saturday evening, we went to Cottonwood.
At 18.
Sunday morning, bright and early at 7:50, we went out. We did a round.
And that was my 4 round of the year.
Yeah, and then we
went back.
Curtis
So we
and
played-
Tom joined us in the afternoon.
Yeah, so we played 5 rounds in
less than 48 hours.
48 hours. And again, that's something I've never done.
Well, it was wild because if you look at the scores, I mean, outside of your 88, all great rounds.
Yep.
Right? And I mean, I look at my scores on that weekend and I'm like, these are really good rounds considering how much golf we played. And not only that, like I probably hit 200 to 300 balls on the range in between those rounds.
It's true. It's true.
So it's wild. But I mean, I've made a couple tweaks in my game. Like I figured out that I was standing too close to the ball on my irons and some of my woods, which was creating more enhancing my slice, right?
Enhancing that outside.
And taking it from a fade to a slice. So once I realized that and realized how far I had to stand away, all of a sudden I'm hitting a lot straighter balls. I have a lot more better control with my wedges, with my woods, with my driver, which I don't typically hit my driver, but if I can hit my driver now and I can hit it accurate, it just allows me to get, instead of an 8-iron in my hand, well, now I got a pitching wedge. And it's like, okay, it's just a little bit more accurate with that pitching wedge versus that 8-iron, right? So it allows our games to get that much better, I guess. It allows us to be just that much more accurate. I used to be so scared of taking my driver out because I'm like, I'm going to slice this crap out of it. And now I'm like, no, I got this. Let's hit it.
Yeah, and that's where we're seeing the improvements there. And we're literally seeing the little incremental steps of our game getting better.
Well, it's crazy.
And we don't take any lessons.
No,
all we do is hit balls.
Well, and we hit balls. We watch some YouTube. I mean, for someone like me who golfs cross-handed, it's hard for me to even look at like things on YouTube or like lessons, and they're like, well, you should do this, and I'm like, well, how do I make that work for me?
With a reverse grip, like when they're talking about hand position.
Yeah, like it doesn't really make sense to me. So I got to kind of go by feel for a lot of what I do. And I mean, there are some videos out there now, some cross-handed golfer stuff that I can kind of look at and be like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And we were talking about the other day in the cart. As shitty as the Achilles tear was last year, I really think it might have been the best game the best thing that's ever happened to me for my game, because it allowed me to understand just how important the pace of your takeaway is to make sure that the club goes back in the correct orientation.
There's a
right?
slot. There's a slot.
So so my takeaway is much slower now. And then I load, and I don't necessarily hit the ball as hard or as fast as I used to, but it's a more consistent. It's a slow takeaway, consistent swing.
Yeah.
Slow takeaway, consistent swing.
Yeah.
And just finding that tempo has really helped my game.
Well, it takes your spray from this into this.
Correct.
Right? And I think that's where my game is.
Yes,
well,
100%.
You bring that cone back into where it's.
Well, I mean, Kurt was even saying that the other day when he was out with us, and he said he's like, he was telling Tom, you have just such a nice and easy swing. It's nice back and nice through. And he's like, you're just always straight out there. I'm like, that's just how he plays. That's why we call him the fairway finder.
Yeah, and over the last little while, my approach shots have been getting better too. I'm hitting more greens, and I'm 3-putting some of them, but again, the next incremental step is right.
Yeah.
So if you're going fairway to green or fairway to close and you're chipping it close, right? All that comes into play, just taking strokes away, right?
So we talk about your short game. Your chipping right now is extremely good. Like you are so close
it's almost
to chipping out every time.
It's today. I mean, I said to you after when we made the tournament, we were on the back and we were off of number 13, I think. I was like, one of these got to drop.
Yeah, because it went right by the hole.
So I think I put 3 right over the hole, like right by the hole or over the hole.
Yeah, and you're chipping great. And you've always, like there for quite a long time, you struggled with putting until you found a putter that you like to look at. So now your putting is getting better. But your chipping game is allowing you to get out of holes so much better, right?
Yeah. If I'm not going fairway to green, at least I know I'm putting myself into par opportunity will get worse.
Yes. Yeah, at least if you can get on there and give yourself a chance at par, you have a really good opportunity to walk out with the bogey.
So cool to go through a round today, no double bogey.
Yeah, that's
right?
pretty awesome.
Just no double bogey.
I was I look at mine, I'm like, damn it, that triple on 14 cost me. Stupid freaking mud pit.
So much fun.
Oh well.
So cool. And so cool to see our game's progressing.
Well, and I look at our league and the guys we play with, and I just want I want everybody to play well, so that when somebody beats, like when one of us wins, you earned it.
Yep.
You played your butt off. Everybody else is playing good. You got to play good to win, right?
Yep.
And that was exactly what it was today.
Yep.
After I hit my my second shot on 17, I hit my 8 iron. I put it on the green. I said to you, I was like, "You're gonna have to earn this one. You won it today." I was like, "I ain't rolling over and dying. You're gonna have to earn this one."
In the past, when we've been in these positions, I crack.
Yep.
Right? I crack because, again, not that I can't handle the pressure, but I just think about the game a little bit too much.
Yeah, just it's easy to let your mind wander when you have that opportunity.
But I knew how well I was playing today, and I was like, yeah, well, you know what? I know what I got to do now on 18. And even when I made my tee shot and I put it in the bogey valley, I was like, dude, just put a close 2-putt bogey. If you can get on a 2-putt bogey, he's got to birdie this to beat you.
Or par to at least send it to overtime.
And again, if it goes into a
playoff, it's a coin flip anyways.
I've already beaten you once in the playoff. So
yeah, you beat me when I was in my boot in the playoff.
So what?
Won't happen again. I'd like a rematch. I think I'm 3-1 in playoffs.
And yeah, you're the only losses to this guy.
Yeah,
that's right. And I'm 1-0 in playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm 3-1.
But I think we're going to do a par 3 challenge this year, kind of outside the tour. I think we'll get some guys to go down to the par 3 and maybe
I think
Mulligans and Hackers par 3 champ.
I think that's a terrific idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Go down to Paradise.
I think I haven't played it since like opening weekend last year.
I haven't played it forever. I know Clark was out there last weekend with his buddy, I think, and he said the greens were slow as always. They're notoriously slow. But yeah, no, it'd be fun.
I think so.
Just be fun. We'll have to find some little trophy or something
for
a par 3 championship.
Yep.
Some little gimmick we can do every year.
We'll put the invitation out to some more guys that probably are a little more comfortable at par 3.
Yeah.
And see if we can get a couple of groups to go out and expand the field.
It'd be sweet.
I think so. I think we need to do it. I've always avoided the par 3 now that we play Cottonwood and we have memberships there, but I think with where our games are now, we should test it. We should put it to the test and see if we can do it. See how well we play the par 3.
Well, and it's a different game, right? It's such a different animal.
It is a different animal. There's just some long par 3s down there, some really short par 3s.
Well, there's some par 3s that you're like, how's this even a par 3, really?
And the back-to-back ones. There's 3. Going up the hill, coming back down the hill, and then across the creek to
4, 5, and 6.
That's the ones.
Yeah.
They're all long par 3s.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 are long.
You're going uphill.
Oh yeah, and
number four
is brutal because you go like this,
and then the green slopes back towards.
Yes,
that's a tough green.
Yeah.
Then number 5 going down the hill, it all fades off the green. So
correct.
You're either hitting the green or you're down off the hill. You're chipping back up.
That's right.
And then the next one, you got to go across the creek, and it's the same thing. It goes up, and the green slopes right back towards you.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that one's brutal. Like you're trying to putt. If you end up anywhere going across it to try and putt it, it's tough.
Yeah.
But it'll be, that one's fun because you have to walk it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that'd be sweet. I mean, just a little.
So somewhere in the season here now, when we have a little break or something, or maybe even after the season, we'll set up a par 3 turn.
I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be very, guys would be pretty receptive about that. Maybe even.
Now, I do believe Dave, in his wisdom, has put it out there that we might even put some money in this.
Yeah, I mean, why not a buck a hole, the guy or something? Like that.
That's what he said. He said about $20 like to get in and pay out at top 3 spots. I
mean, let's put some skin in the game. Why not?
And I mean, again, a lot of the guys would be more comfortable at the par 3 than they would be at, like Cottonwood or a bigger course, right?
Well, I mean, if you go $20 a spot and you get 5 guys with $100, I mean, I think we could probably get 6 or 8.
Right.
So I mean, $160. You go like 80, 40. I don't know, like 80.
Third spot should get your money back. So $20 for third.
Yeah, $20 for third, and then like 80, 50 or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, let's do
That'd
it.
be good. I love it. I
let's
love
do
the
something like
idea.
that.
I love
Because
the
I
idea.
really wanted to play the skins game between like the core four.
I want to play a skins game or even like a challenge. We should almost have a match play event between the core four, right? Like you and I can't be on the same team, I don't think.
No. This is the thing, because again we really narrowed down our field when it comes to the guys we want to play all the time.
But it doesn't have to be an event. But I mean, it could be a fun. It could be like a fun little thing that we do, right? Like you could play for money or
A
something.
Ryder Cup style type of event.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I mean, like that's the dream, right?
That is the dream.
We get enough guys out that at the end of the year, towards the end, we name our captains.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that's currently leading in the second place or whatever,
Yeah, something like that.
and you get your picks. You pick your team.
And then you play Ryder Cup style.
Yeah, and so you play your event, and you got 4 guys going out, 1 guy versus 1 guy, 1 guy versus 1 guy, and then whoever win, and we play it over like a 2-day stretch. And it's one day it's guy versus guy. Next day it's
the match play type
next
thing.
day it's 2 versus 2.
And then we could switch it up for 9s. Right? So
you could even do that.
Do 9s as a match play, do 9s as like doubles.
Yeah. I like it.
In 2 days, because then you would be able to do like 4 events each day.
Yep. Yeah, I like it.
So some things to plan and look forward to.
Yeah, but for now, I mean, we're just going to prep and get ready for our next event, and it's our season's well underway, and I mean, we were just talking about it today. We're quickly approaching 50 career events for our season.
I'm not quite sure what the number is, but we almost we're.
I have to look at it, but I feel like we're into the 40 or very close now. Yeah. It's probably going to happen in the next 3 or 4.
Yeah, that was 50th event.
That's wild, right?
Yeah, man. Well, again, we're in our 3rd season doing this.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, and a lot of the stuff and the cool people that we've met along the way, it's just it's been fun.
So cool, and the opportunities that come with it, and the friendships that you make in this whole golf community is so cool.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I mean, we're only a month away here from the Canada Day at Cottonwood. They'll be putting out information on that here soon.
So we'll be doing that.
We'll be getting into that scramble. We always play in that one.
Like we'll be doing the Halo one again.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be August 25th. So we'll have to get into that one as well. Get the boys in there and do our thing, and just do some fun stuff.
Yeah,
so.
And other things that come up, some scrambles and tournaments, and we've been invited to a few places across Canada, but we're not quite into that traveling thing yet. So we're still trying to stay close to home base.
Yeah, eventually we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We're just young pups yet.
Yep, new to the field. So, anyways, let's wrap it up.
All right. And that's been our season so far. So I mean, keep in the loop on our socials at Mulligans and Hackers Golf on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook,
Twitter. We're on Twitter.
Yeah, we are on Twitter. We're on that cesspool, and check everything out. I mean, the next question is, can you win 2 in a row?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
No, not a chance.
If I can win in conditions like today, if next weekend's
you're probably gonna shoot like an 84 next weekend.
No, not happening.
No, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. So I mean, I've made it now, so you got some work to do to try and catch me. So, which is good.
Now we're in a spot where you got to win to move up in the standings.
Yes,
and back-to-back seasons of second place finishes in the chase for the cup.
You need a bridesmaid again.
It's not sitting well with this guy, so.
You want to finish 3rd this year, or you want to finish 2nd?
Oh, I'm going to finish.
You got a lot of work to do to finish 1st. You got to hope that I fall off the tree here.
Yeah, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about me.
All right. We'll see what happens in a few weeks here. All right, we'll check back with you guys in a couple weeks. And I mean, if you guys want to chit-chat with us, or you guys are interested at all in joining in some special guest podcasts down the road, reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, or even Twitter. We'd love to hear from you guys. Other than that, guys, may your mulligans be plenty and your hacks be findable, and we'll catch you guys later. Later.